Noah has spent decades, literally decades, building this gigantic boat in what is essentially the middle of nowhere. His neighbors think he's lost his mind. The sawdust is finally settled, the last peg is in place, and the ark is done. Then God gives him the final call. He says, "All right, Noah, it's go time. You and your whole family get on the ark. I've seen you, and out of everyone in this crazy, messed up world, you're the one who has walked with me." Then God gives him the final detailed packing list. It's not just 2 of every animal. He says to bring 7 pairs of all the clean animals, the ones suitable for sacrifice later, and only 1 pair of all the unclean animals. Same for the birds. God's already thinking ahead, which is, a very God thing to do. And then comes the final warning. God tells Noah, in 7 days, I'm going to send rain on the earth for 40 days and 40 nights. I'm going to wipe from the face of the earth every living thing I have made. Can you imagine the tension of that last week? Knowing what was coming, while the rest of the world just went about its business, probably still making jokes about Noah's land cruise. And what does Noah do? The Bible says it simply, and Noah did all that the Lord commanded him. No hesitation, just pure trusting obedience. Noah was 600 years old when the floodwaters came. Makes you rethink your retirement plans, doesn't it? He gathers up his wife, his 3 sons, Shem, Ham, and Japheth, and their wives, and they all walk up the ramp into the ark. And then the great animal parade begins. Pairs of lions, pairs of lizards, pairs of eagles, pairs of everything you can imagine, all making their way onto the boat just as God commanded. It must have been the most incredible and probably the loudest procession in history. They all get inside, the whole family and this massive floating zoo. And then comes one of the most powerful and sobering moments in the whole story. After everyone and everything was safely inside, the Lord shut him in. Think about that. It wasn't Noah who pulled up the ramp and bolted the door. God himself sealed them in. For Noah and his family, that door meant safety, salvation, and a new beginning. For everyone on the outside, it meant the time for choosing was over. It was a final divine act of both protection and judgment. Exactly 7 days later, on the 17th day of the 2nd month of Noah's 600th year, the sky turned dark. But this wasn't just a storm. The Bible describes it in 2 epic ways. All the springs of the great deep burst forth, meaning water didn't just come from the sky. It erupted from the ground itself. It was like the whole planet was coming apart at the seams, and the floodgates of the heavens were opened. It wasn't just rain, it was a torrential, nonstop downpour for 40 days and 40 nights. The water level rose so fast. Soon, that massive ark, which had been sitting on dry land, began to lift. It floated. The project that everyone had mocked was now the only thing keeping humanity and the animal kingdom from being extinguished. The water kept rising, covering the valleys, then the hills, and eventually it swelled so high that it covered the tallest mountains on earth by more than 20 feet. Every living thing on dry land perished. Every person who had laughed, every creature that roamed the fields, everything that breathed air, all of it was washed away in the deluge. The world that was gone. The only survivors were Noah and the 8 people of his family, along with all the animals, safe and sound, rocking on the endless waves inside the ark. The rain may have stopped after 40 days, but the water didn't go anywhere. For a staggering 150 days, the water covered the entire face of the earth. It's a heavy story, for sure. It's a story about judgment on a world that had turned its back on its creator. But right in the middle of it all, it's also this incredible story about God's grace, his plan for a fresh start, and the amazing faith of one man who dared to believe God and build a boat when there wasn't a cloud in the sky. He just trusted God, did the crazy thing he was asked to do, and he and his family were saved. What an awesome picture of faith.